Okay, hello and welcome everyone. Welcome to JFD Brokers Traders Espresso with me, Darius Lunchauskas. Today's the 31st of July, so last trading day for July. Welcome everyone to this morning session where we're going to have a look at a few instruments. I believe they're quite important for today. But before we do that, let's quickly have a read through our risk disclaimers. So the content of this webinar does not constitute investment advice or investment recommendation and does not in any way constitute an invitation to acquire any financial instrument or product. As always, a few seconds for you to read the rest, then we can continue. Also, just a very quick reminder of our JFD Brokers website and specifically our research page, which we update on a daily basis. So you can go in and check us out here. You can definitely find some useful information. Of course, we produce our daily report, which is currently getting done. And feel free to check us out later on. See the analysis for today. So. Of course, keep coming back, guys. I mean, that's what I can say. Keep coming back, and definitely you can find something useful here for yourselves. Okay, but right now, let's have a look at the charts. So the first one I want to touch on is actually the FTSE MIB, no, the Italian index. So we are at this interesting spot right now. Now, looking at this bigger picture, of course, you can see we're stuck here between these two lines, between this downside resistance line here that's kind of has been running here from this peak that we saw on around the 7th of May. Certainly we're also stuck here between these two lines, between these two key support and resistance lines. So the lower one here is the 21,150 and the upper one is the 22,520, approximately there. So we're stuck in this little kind of wide range, I would say. At this point in time, it would, of course, we're seeing that it's difficult maybe to predict where it's gonna go. But to be honest, if we take and draw another line here, we can see another nice downwards moving resistance line running here since around from the high that we saw here around the 15th of June. And if this is going to get broken, well, this could open the path towards, initially of course, towards this level, this potential area of resistance at around 22,200, which was marked here by the high that we had on around the 10th of July. And if that doesn't hold, well, we could end up testing this this bigger downwards moving resistance line here that I was just talking about. So for now, guys, keep an eye. All eyes are on this little downside resistance line. Let's see if it actually gets broken or not. But if this is gonna get held here, and if this index is not gonna be able to break through this line, then, well, I mean, this could look a bit more to the negative side for this for FTSE MIB, and we could maybe see another test of the 21,550 area, approximately there. Let me just quickly adjust this level here. There we go. Forgot a zero, but nevertheless, you got the picture, guys. Keep an eye on this level here. Keep an eye on this 21,550, approximately there. Let's see if it actually holds or not. There we go. This time got it right. And if that doesn't hold, well, I mean, it could open the path towards these lower levels here, especially towards this 21,325 area, approximately there. But slightly below that, we do have this better area of support here, the one that I was just talking about, the 21,150. So certainly that's what's in regards to the downside, but still keep a close eye on this line today. Let's see if it actually holds, or if it actually gets broken. If it gets broken, well, you know the kind of the scenario. We could aim for this level first, and then towards this downside resistance line second. Let's have a look at commodity, and the one that I really wanted to touch on is WTI And certainly the oil, the West Texas intermediary is kind of currently testing this upside support line, upside trend line, let's call it this way. And it's testing it from underneath. Yesterday it had a nice run here to the upside, but still didn't manage to kind of break it and close above it, so it kind of got held here at this area. Even though from my previous videos, if you recall, when I was looking at WTI, I was talking about this level here, the 69.80 mark, sorry, 69.60 mark, approximately there. So I was talking about saying that even though we're gonna get a nice close above this, if we're gonna get a nice close above this, still for us to kind of become more bullish on this one, we would also need to see a nice good close above this upwards moving trend line. Now, and this is what happened. I mean, we got a nice close above this line, but never closed above this upwards moving trend line. So for now, we're still gonna kind of remain more neutral, let's say, and wait and see what it wants to do with this line eventually. Certainly you can see that the 21 EMA is also around here, so it's another possible area of resistance. So for now, guys, keep an eye on it. But for us, let's say, to become more bearish on the slightly more longer term, we would need to see a nice move and a break here below the 67.15 mark, and this is where it could become interesting for the bears, because then we could see the WTI moving lower here, maybe even towards this 64.10 mark, approximately there. And this is where it also could potentially test the 200 EMA. Now this 64.10 acted as a very nice area of support here around the 18th of June and around the 5th of June. So keep an eye on it, guys. Keep an eye on this area. Certainly could be maybe a few points higher or lower, but nevertheless, this is approximately the area to watch out for if we get a move lower here and we get a break below the 67.15. But for now, certainly all eyes are on probably, yeah, for the short term, from the short term perspective, all eyes are on this upwards moving trend line. Let's see if it holds or if it actually breaks and we get a nice close above this line. Let's jump into actually, let's jump into Bitcoin. Now, certainly we don't look at it very often, but nevertheless, it's quite an interesting one right now, because as you can see, we had a nice run here. We've reversed nicely around the mid-July here. We reversed nicely to the upside, so we created this upside support line now, and certainly at this point we're stuck here between the two key areas. One area of resistance here around 86.30, and the support level around the 77.70, approximately there. So currently, as you can see by the lines, these are the potential scenarios. So we could maybe see a move lower here towards this support zone, get a nice bounce, and then a move higher. Or actually, if we do get a break here below the 77.70, now this is where it could be more tricky, because we could potentially see a move here lower towards this upside support line and then a reversal back up here. So for now, certainly keep an eye on it. Keep an eye on this crypto if you're interested, of course. But it could play out nicely if we get a nice break here above. Eventually, if we get a nice break here above this 86.30 line, this could open the path towards these higher levels, and actually maybe we'll see the psychological 10,000 getting hit again, maybe by the end of this year, who knows. But for that, of course, for this scenario, we would need to see a nice good break and a close above this 86.30 line. So keep an eye on it, guys, and certainly keep an eye on these potential other support areas as well. Let's jump into euro dollar. And the euro dollar, looking at looking at the daily chart here, still we're within this big range here between the 115.100 and the 118.400. But to be honest, let's jump into a 4-hour chart on this one and see what's happening. So we managed to make a nice move here to the upside. We reversed nicely on the 27th of July. It found its support around here, around this 116.200, and then now continues to push higher. So the another area to keep an eye on, guys, is this one right here. Let me just quickly adjust it, and that's the 117 mark. As you can see, we had rejections here for a few times well, today actually already, and yesterday we had the same thing. So this could play out as a very important level for the short run. Now, certainly at this point in time, I mean, it seems that it wants to continue pushing higher, and it has, I mean, it has the full kind of potential to do that, to be honest, because like I said, the 117 got rejected a few times. It's now acting as a nice bouncing ground, and we could see maybe the euro traveling all the way towards this 117.45 mark approximately there. And this level acted as a very strong area of resistance here a few times in the end of July, on the 17th, on the 22nd, and around the 26th. So, I mean, this could get tested again. We could see another test of this 117.45 mark, maybe even actually today. By the way, we do have some news coming out today later on from the Eurozone, so be very careful. With this one, of course, have your stop losses in place. Now, that probably I need to kind of point out the importance of having the stop loss, because to be honest, just to kind of protect yourself from different news releases, you know, that could affect the market. Well, it could affect your trade as well. So keep an eye on this, guys. Keep an eye on this 117 level. So certainly at the moment, if this continues to push higher, the 117.45 level is the one to watch. But if that doesn't hold, if we finally see a nice break here above this level, well, this could open the path towards this 117.600 initially, and maybe then a little bit higher towards this 117.900 approximately there, which has been the high seen as a high here on the 9th of July. So very good area of potential resistance as well. But for that, of course, we would need to see a nice good break here above the 117.45. But on the downside, in regards to the downside, this is what we need to keep an eye on the euro. So certainly keep an eye on this 117, but if we actually get a break here below this 117 level, certainly the next good potential area of support could be seen around the 116.45 mark. But do not exclude these EMAs here, the 100, the 50, the 21, and even the 200. So don't exclude these lines, guys. I mean, because like I said, we could maybe see a rejection here somewhere around these lines and then a reversal back up. But if we continue breaking them to the downside, like I said, this is the level to watch here, potential level of support, the 116.45, and if that doesn't hold, it's the 116.20 mark. So for now, keep all eyes on the upside. You could potentially position yourself maybe for a possible trade here, where let's say if you enter a position slightly above around the 117.200 on a possible break here of these highs, and aim for the 117.45 mark. Of course, having your stop loss in place, and certainly maybe you could put your stop loss around her 117 zone. So something like this. So it could be a potential, maybe a potential idea here. But nevertheless, you be the judge what's more comfortable for you. And yep, but keep an eye on this little area here. Let's see if it actually breaks this 117.200 level and moves higher towards this key area of resistance. And the last pair that I really wanted to touch on is the USDJPY, and the USDJPY is currently certainly pushing higher, well, trying to push higher. We had a bit of disappointing data coming out of Japan, and we can see that the selling of the yen is kicking in, and the USD JPY is accelerating, and now currently testing this 50 EMA, 50 EMA shown here as the red line. Certainly all eyes are on this 111.40 zone. Now, if we get a nice break here, that doesn't mean that we're going to continue pushing higher, because we do have this upwards moving trend line here, this better seen here in the bigger picture on the daily chart. As you can see, that it quite acted as a very nice area here at support. It held here the rate from dropping lower, and this time, of course, we could end up testing that from underneath. So all eyes are on that. But for that, of course, to see, we would need to get a nice break here above the 111.400. If this continues to accelerate, and keep an eye on this little level right here, around the 111.55. Now this is where it could become more interesting, because if we get a nice break here above the 111.55 and we get a nice close actually eventually above this level, this could also eventually place the pair above this trend line as well, and we could maybe start positioning ourselves for some higher levels. So initially could be aiming for this little area here at around 112.05, and then slightly above that the 112.25. so keep an eye on these guys, keep an eye on these levels. Certainly at the moment it's trying to push higher, it's trying to fight here, and let's see if it actually breaks this area here, the 111.400, and moves higher. So okay guys, that's what's in regards to the markets. Let's see how it evolves today, and I hope you have a good European session. I hope you have a good trading session. Yep, and as always, I hope keep an eye on the price action, guys. And if you want to join me later on in my traders tea time at 13:15 GMT, 14:15 British Summer Time. But for now, thank you very much, and bye bye.